What is up, YouTube? Ruben here, and today it is that time again for Get Ready for Art Night. So, Get Ready for Art Night, once again, kicks off with the movie event. Today is day one of Get Ready for Art Night, which is the brochure pickup. And I already did. Well, a couple days as usual, by any means, but we'll call it the brochure pickup. So, got the brochures on two separate days, whereas on Wednesday, October 1st, which was cleaner day at the time, I actually first of all, went straight to Goodwill's. There's two of them. The Goodwills are the best place to shop at. And then I went to Remainders Creative Reuse, and sure enough, they got them. So, that's one of the first few pickups, and has the most brochures I got. But it's not just one single location. On Thursday, the next day, October 2nd, there were more brochures at the San Rafael Library located on Avenue 64 and Nithsdale Road. So, I actually got a couple more Art Night brochures, so I'm finally ready for Art Night coming this Friday, October 10th. So today is day one, October 6th, 2025, which is the brochure pickup. There will be a few things that are going to be talked about, like, for example, Windows 10 ending support next week. Well, by the time this video is out, it's probably going to be already at end of support anyways, with extended security updates being offered, but more on that later. And of course, some other random stuff that I'll talk about throughout the movie event. So with that being said, let's get this show on the road, because I'm about to head out right now to the library. So with that being said, that's all I'm going to tell you guys for day one. So, but it's not going to be over just yet. So we'll see what it brings for today, and I'll be back. Before I go and head out, I want to talk about what I'm going to be doing for Art Night. Now, one of the reasons why it's going to be slightly different is Red End Press right here, which is number 16. Not sure the camera's going to focus. There we go. Yeah, I am no longer doing Al Kebulan this time. I'm switching the location to Red End Press for the practice walk, which will indeed, of course, be the walk that we're going to be doing for Art Night. So this will be our first ever practice walk from right here to Red End Press, which is again number 16. And that is because the north route, which is right here, the purple route, to Art Center, which is number 6. Yep, because of the Chappell Roan concert at the Rose Bowl, there's going to be a couple locations that are going to be taken off for that. The Gamble House is not even in there anymore, and so does the Pasadena Museum of History. Yep, the north route will start at Red End Press. So, and one notable thing I'm going to see here is that this is one of the first ever Art Night routes, especially the north route to be exact, specifically, to actually cross two cities. In fact, one unincorporated community and one city. A part of it will be served in Altadena and La Cañada Flintridge. So that's a first for Art Night. So, yeah. So here is the map. Of course, we'll get to the maps in day 3. And there will be 2 new venues, which is Fulcrum Arts, which is number 10, and the Pasadena Heritage, which is number 14. So, yeah. So, it's going to be quite interesting to see how it's going to go when I do art night this Friday. So there you go. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and head out now. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright folks, it is now 4:38. There was not much going on at the library today, not very important, other than the fact that they did indeed have the brochures, so I picked the last batch. So now that increases the number of brochures. So with that being said, I think it went very good to call it an actual brochure pickup. So I'll have more of those during day 2, which is the brochure count, which will include the brochures I picked up today. Actually, just half an hour ago at this point at the library. So with that being said, I think that's all I can really say for day 1. Now there is something very important, probably some of you guys out there, very important for those who are Microsoft Windows users. Now this can go a little bit off topic, well, has been anyways, for like rants, topics, news, something like that. So let's talk about something important, and that is Windows 10. Now, as you all know, Windows 10 is ending support on October 14th, which is at this point a week at the time of filming. So yeah, as you all know, Windows 10 came out in July 2015, and it's already over a decade at this point since Windows 10 came out, and it's finally ending support. But you're still not alone. For the first time for consumers, they have extended support until 2026. Well, if you pay $30 or if you use certain features with your Microsoft account. I would not be surprised if some of you guys that are still watching this video on YouTube are still running Windows 10. I would not be surprised if they did. But anyways, with Windows 10 ending support, this is going to leave a couple users with a few options. Number one, if any of those guys have hardware that supports Windows 11, they can literally upgrade to Windows 11. Another option is if they don't want to use Windows 11, they can do the extended security updates just like what they did with Windows 7 in 2020. Now for consumers, again, it will be until 2026. For those of you like they did with Windows 7 for businesses and pretty much education, government, all that stuff, they still get support until 2028. And then for those who are using LTSC, specifically IoT Enterprise, that ends support until 2032. So, yeah. So there's that. Now, I've been a Windows 10 user actually ever since like 2015. I just never used much on Windows 10 initially, but I did eventually get used to Windows 10. And I really do like Windows 10. I'm not kidding. I still support Windows 10 to this very day, even after the end of support. And by the time the video's up, it's already end of support anyways. But you're on ESU at this point. So, I'm not really into Windows 11. Yeah, sure, I still use Windows 11 on the black HP laptop I use. The blue one, sadly, suffered screen damage. That is the one I bought at Target in 2021. Yeah, that sadly suffered screen damage, so I went ahead and converted that into a half top. And then there's another choice that some of you may not understand much, and that is always transitioning to Linux. There's always Linux. Like, you got Ubuntu, you got plenty of other derivatives like Debian, Linux Mint, Zorin OS, all that stuff. Yeah, there's always Linux. Albeit now, you might need to have newer hardware. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm kind of really disappointed to see that Windows 10 is ending support, but you do get extended security updates. So, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Another thing, too, is that now with version 24H2, specifically for Windows 11 IoT Enterprise, which I probably would not recommend using if that's going to be your main operating system. Yeah, they lifted the requirements specifically for IoT Enterprise. So that pretty much means any systems that support SSE 4.2 or PopCNT, those will be able to run Windows 11, specifically IoT Enterprise. Whether it's the regular or the LTSC version, just regular or LTSC, whichever one. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about. And I'm already just around 6 minutes within this clip right here. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now. So at this point, I'm going to go and wrap it up very soon. So with that, we'll see what this brings for the evening, and I'll be back. Alright folks, so here's something that I want to show you within this movie event. So I'm going to do a little review of this tablet, but I'm not going to be putting it up or anything. So, so I now got a Windows 10 tablet. This is what I was talking about in the previous clip, the end of Windows 10 support. Well, this is one of them right here that's actually running Windows 10. So this is the Hyundai Protocol X8. Might not see it well on camera now. Let's see if I can focus this thing. Probably not, but this is the Hyundai Protocol X8. So I got this thing, as you see here, $15 at a garage sale in South Pasadena on September 12th, just hours away before a UCLA game. So yeah, so I'm gonna give you guys a little review, but an overview actually. Just an 8-inch screen, and then on the top will be, there you go, power button, volume buttons as well. Bottom has literally the SD card reader, micro SD card reader exactly. And then the left is going to have, wait, is it left? Yeah. The left is going to be your micro USB port and your headphone jack. And then the other side has the microphone. So, yeah, it is running Windows 10. So, yeah, and I paid $15. So I kind of went over a little over budget, but again, it's the cheapest I can go for a tablet, specifically a Windows tablet to be exact. So, yeah. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now. This is what it looks like right now. So yeah. And yes, I do have a Fluttershy plushie. Nothing to explain there. So, yeah, so with that being said, I'm going to go and pause the video now. So, I'll be back. Alright folks, so with that, that's going to be it for day one of Get Ready for Art Night. So, not much to explain more about, other than the fact that literally talked about like Windows 10, the brochure pickup, all that. That's all I can really talk about for day one. So, with that being said, I need to go ahead and end day one now. So, with that being said, that's going to be a wrap for this one. So, I'll see you guys in day two. Alright folks, so this is day two of Get Ready for Art Night. This is going to be the brochure count. So, I already sorted out the brochures so that I can go ahead and start the day two. So, with that being said, I'll turn you guys around and I'll literally go ahead and start counting all these brochures. So, I'll go ahead and flip you around and get this started. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and start counting those brochures. So let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and then that's 22. You might think this is over. No, you got more. So this is the La Picturesca batch that I was talking about during day 1. So let's continue. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and then 32. So in total, I have gotten 32 brochures. So with that, this is all the brochures I got. So now I got a whole bunch of spares that I can use in case one of them actually gets ruined or something. So yeah, I already take care of all the paperwork anyways. So that's all the brochures I got. And yes, I still have some older brochures I got, including the last one. I just moved it out. So with that being said, that's going to be it for the brochure count. So with that, we'll see what this day brings, and I'll be back. Alright folks, so it is now 3:53. So there has not been going on since the last clip. Was going to do something, but apparently that didn't work out. Yeah, sure, I did do some just for fun stuff, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, not a lot going on since the last clip. Yeah, sure, we'll be heading out to the track, but you've seen the track too much, so... But yeah, I will be at the track eventually. So there you go. Not a whole lot of stuff going on, like I said. So it's still sunny out here in Pasadena. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can really tell you for now. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got. I may or may not go ahead and end day 2, but if there's not much, yeah, I'll just go ahead and end day 2. So yeah. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video now. So I'll be back. Alright folks, so I am at the track okay, you know what, forget the name, you already know what it is. Anyways, you've seen this before several times, so anyways, I already did the track earlier. Beautiful night out here. So with that, I think that's gonna be it for day 2 of Get Ready for Art Night, right here at the track. So there you have it. You'll see a few Halloween decorations around here. In fact, right about here. So yeah, a couple Halloween decorations for this time of year. So there you have it. So with that being said, I think we'll call it for day 2. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, so I'll be back. Alright folks, so with that being said, it is time for me to go ahead and end day 2 of Get Ready for Art Night, October 7th, 2025. So with that being said, I need to go ahead and wrap up day 2 now. There was not much going on for today, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end day 2 now, so I'll see you guys in day 3. Alright folks, so this is day 3 of Get Ready for Art Night, October 8th, 2025. And this one, I'll be doing the maps. But it's going to be slightly different this time, as I'm about to show you. And this is going to be something that will be done within the next few art nights. In fact, in the foreseeable future. So there's going to be like changes that are going to be coming for, the book that I make for every art night. So, man, a lot of siren going on. That's siren. Damn, I gotta pronounce it correctly. But anyways, nevertheless, let's show you guys the maps and see what I'm talking about. Alright folks, so this is gonna be the book right here. And you'll notice right off the bat, yep, I've stapled on the side. Now normally I will only staple on the top left, but now I did it on the left side to now make it more like an actual book. And you notice it's just one, and that is because it is now consolidated. Normally we'll have 2, but now a single book comes in. So let's go ahead and open it up. First one is going to be the system map, of course. Disregard the ad, that's just some scratch paper, but nevertheless, this is the system map. It shows all the updated routes, and you can even tell that I've also applied the detour routing for Metro as a result of the Eaton fire back in January. And of course, I put the changes in here. You can read it all yourself. You can pause the video if you want to read the whole thing. And then now I have included the official Metro system map. Something that I did not do in the last one, so here it is. And it now includes the A-line extension to Pomona, which I will talk about in a moment. Of course, your Getting Here guide. I've also updated the departure times, but you're not here to see those. Now, you get your first look of what you'll be seeing when I make those videos. And you'll be seeing them on every Art Night bus video that'll be coming out throughout the week following the event. So here's the central route. You'll notice right off the bat that because there was a quirk on the brochure where it'll continue straight on Raymond, which clearly you gotta actually detour off of Fair Oaks between Maple and Corson. So I have it set to between Maple and Walnut on the route. Next one's the east route. A vast majority of changes there. They even brought back the Boston Court, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think the last one was in fall 2023. They usually do it in the fall anyway, so I'll assume fall 2023. I gotta check back on that one. But here's the east route. It makes it bi-directional. So, yeah, just east of Hill anyways. And then here is actually what I'm really looking into, the north route. Now, the north route would normally start at the Pasadena Museum of History, but now, as a result of Chappell Roan coming to the Rose Bowl for the concert, the north route has been revised to now start at Red End Press, and this is what I was talking about during day 1 of Get Ready for Art Night. That's where I'll be doing the practice walk, and that's where it's going to take me, to Red End Press. Once I'm done with the north route, then I'll do the northwest route to City Hall. And you can really tell it uses the 210 all the way. Well, to get to Linda Vista, they had to exit at Windsor, Woodbury, which later becomes Oak Grove, to Linda Vista. And then Linda Vista all the way down to Lida, and then pretty much head into Art Center. And part of the route, most notably at Linda Vista Avenue and Highland Drive in La Cañada Flintridge, yep, it's going to La Cañada Flintridge. So that's going to be a must-see there. Now, here's the northwest route. And I also did mention the central route. It will serve the Fulcrum Arts. The northwest route will serve Pasadena Heritage, which is right there that says Fuller Theological Seminary. It will go up Lake, and then after that, we'll go to All Cable Lawn, which is normally what I do for every art night since 2022, but now, for this one, I'm heading to Red End Press, which will be right here, which has the pink and purple dot all together. Then go down Los Robles, where it will go to the Pasadena Heritage, and then go through Day 1, which is Lightbringer, and then back to City Hall. And then, of course, you'll see those bus stops all over those videos. Some will say like deviation and stuff. So, yeah. And then here is another first thing I got here. This is the first for every single art night, and that is I have now included the Metro Rail and Busway map with the newly updated A line to Pomona. Now, the A line to Pomona opened on September 19th with 4 new stations, which includes Glendora, San Dimas, La Verne Fairplex, and Pomona North Metrolink Station. And then later this year, they'll open up the D line up to at least La Cienega. Now, this year so far, we had 2 openings. Other than the A line opening that I mentioned before, we now have the LAX Metro Transit Center. Yeah, that opened on June 6th, but sadly did not do the opening day. That's why I went on June 8th, which is 2 days after the opening, but that is one of the newest stations so far this year. So now that makes a total of 5 stations already opened in 2025, which will be LAX Metro Transit Center, and then those 4 stations that I've said before on the A line. They've also renamed Long Beach Boulevard now to Linwood, because apparently it's getting way too confusing. Even though it literally said Long Beach Boulevard, which is literally a road, they're mistaking it for the city of Long Beach. So they have to change that to Linwood. So, yeah. And that's pretty much it. So that's all the maps I'll show you. I may or may not do the digital versions, but if I have the time for it, I'll probably go ahead and do that. But for now, it's time for me to go ahead and pretty much call it for the maps right here for the physical version. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now, so I'll be back. Alright folks, so it is time for me to go ahead and do something that now, this is something I promised I said before in the last Get Ready for Art Night. It's time to do those computer overview videos. In fact, one of the first ever videos that I'll make in 2025 in terms of technology. Now, this is the laptop I'm going to do next. You may recognize this laptop from one of the movie events in 2024. This is the HP Compaq 8510W. I actually featured this in the March 2024 movie event, which if you want to see that, I'll have it linked below. So yeah, that's going to be the first computer I'm going to do to make our brand new overview video. Now, I did say this in the last movie event in March that I'll be going back to doing computer videos specifically like these overview videos. I'm no longer going to call them reviews anymore. Yeah, sure, I'm still going to do benchmarks. If you look at this clipboard here, these are all the benchmarks that I've written down when I did them off camera. So, with that, I'm actually just setting it up right now. As you can see, I have the charger, and the laptop is already going to be sitting on this table right here. And yes, I do have a Dell monitor. I'll be needing that for the desktops. But first, I'm going to start off with the laptops, and then I'll move on over to the more easier desktops, and then the all-in-ones. So, I got a lot of computers that I gotta make videos on before, the end of the year. But today is finally the day I'm actually gonna do an actual overview video. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and put the computer aside on the table. And there we go. So now I have the computer all set up on the table where I normally do those videos on. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start making this overview video. So I'll see you guys when I'm done. Alright folks, so I just finished making the overview video for this thing. So now it is all set for a new video coming out for Tech Monday, which is what I did with the VirtualBox tutorials. Sadly, no more VirtualBox tutorials. Albeit, I would have liked to do a couple more VirtualBox tutorials because we got a couple of new Windows 11 updates, and we also got Windows Server 2025. So, yeah. But sadly, won't be doing those anymore. But at least I can still do computer overviews as long as I make sure I read the whole thing right. In fact, there was one I forgot to say. I think let me see. Yeah, it's 120 gigs, yeah, perfect. Because, I want to be sure that I get everything ready for post-production for the overview video. So, yeah. So with that, the first one is done. Now I gotta move on to the next one, which is the Dell Precision M4400. So, I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video now, so I'll be back. Alright folks, so I just pulled out the next laptop, which is the Dell Precision M4400. And I'm about to do the next one right now. So, once I'm done with those two, I'll go ahead and move all these files out, all these video files out, so that I can have more space to continue day 3 and 4. So I'm about to go ahead and do the Dell Precision M4400. So let me go and set that up, and I'll see you guys after I finish that one. So I'll see you guys after the overview. Alright folks, so now I got the overview done for the Dell Precision M4400. So there you go. Now, I decided, you know what, let's go and show you guys the digital versions of the maps that I showed you earlier. So let's begin. So let's start off with the maps that you'll see. These are the screenshots from Google Maps that I used ever since. So here's Central. I'll show you guys in full so that you can see. There's not much explaining, so I'm just going to go ahead and say all the routes. So here's Central, East, North, and Northwest. Now the East route, for whatever reason, is still not right. Google Maps still hasn't fixed the single direction portion, which is clearly a bidirectional. So north and south on the East route. Then I got PDFs, but let's go to the stop maps. So here's Central. Those are the ones I showed you before. So here's Central, East, North, and northwest. And then I also got the system map. It's just this one here. So here's the system map that I talked about earlier. So yeah. So with that, that's going to be it for the maps. So with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for a part of day 2 of Get Ready for Art Night. So let me go and eject the flash drive that has the files in it. And yes, I'm using Windows 7. I like to have at least one system running another operating system like Windows 7 for compatibility. So yeah. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start moving all the files out, including all the footage I'm making right now, including this clip right here. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll be back. Alright folks, so I'm going to go ahead and start moving all the files out because I am already on the computer. I'm on my editing PC, which is this Acer Aspire. And yes, excuse the trash. I need to clear all that. So I got all the folders set up for multiple dates, which is October 4th, 10th, and 12th, as well as the review videos, well, overview videos now, and the movie event. In fact, let me go and set it up right now. It's going to be a while. So let me go and set up the movie event, and I'm going to separate them by day. It's kind of hard one-handed when I'm filming and typing on the keyboard at the same time. In fact, I think this is probably one of the longest days compared to the previous 2 that we had so far. Alright, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pause the video now, and I'll start moving all the files out. So, let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be back. Alright folks, so it is now pretty much 6:16. So with that being said, I'm going to have some dinner with barbecue chicken, as well as beans, and cornbread, as well as potatoes. I'm not see it well, but it went close. But yeah, so this is going to be my dinner for tonight here at Pasadena Church. So there you go. So that I'm going to go ahead and have my dinner, so I'll be back. Alright folks, so that's going to be the end of day 3 of Get Ready for Art Night. I did have a couple more things for day 3, but at least I got most of the things taken care of. So with that being said, that's going to be a wrap for day 3 of Get Ready for Art Night. Tomorrow will be the final day for the movie event before the big kickoff on Friday, which is going to be the practice walk. So with that being said, that's going to be a wrap for day 3 of Get Ready for Art Night. So with that being said, I'm about to go ahead and sign off for day 3 now, before it gets dark. So yeah. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end day 3 now. So I'll see you guys in day 4. Alright folks, so this is day 4 of Get Ready for Art Night, October 9th, 2025. And good news is, it's still a day away for Art Night. Yep, this is the final day of the movie event. So with that being said, I'm just about to go ahead and start doing the practice walk, which is going to be from right here all the way to Red Hen Press, which is number 16 on the map. So that means another relocation for the first time since 2022. So, there you go. So with that being said, I'm about to go ahead and do the practice walk. So, I'll be back. Alright folks, so I just finished the practice walk. I am now at the Red Hen Press. So, the result was 22:04:58. So, there you go. That's the initial result. And yes, I did have to wait at a traffic signal, which would, if there was no wait time at the traffic signal at Fair Oaks, the total time would have ended up being 21 minutes. So, I think that was not that bad, considering that if I leave at 5 p.m., I'll probably still be early. So, I'll probably wait here for like 40 minutes until the first shuttle comes in. So, there you go. So with that, that's going to be it for the practice walk. Now, if I did Al Kubalan, it would probably be like 8 minutes. So, there you go. So, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now, so we'll see what this day brings, and I'll be back. Alright folks, so I just came back home now. It's now 1:37, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for now, but eventually there's going to be a few more things coming up before I wrap up day 4 of Get Ready for Art Night and the movie event. So, yeah, so I did do the library to go ahead and actually schedule the videos, so there you go. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now. Might do the track, though I'm pretty sure you're probably going to not see much of it. So I'm probably not going to feature it, but we'll see. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now, so I'll be back. Alright folks, so it is now about to be 6 o'clock. We have 5:55, so this is going to be probably a weather update for Get Ready for Art Night. Yeah, it's actually quite clear for the evening. There is some monsoonal moisture far east, and tropical moisture to be exact, because of what was Hurricane Priscilla, which has since been degraded to a tropical cyclone. So there you go. So far, not much going on here. There were some storm clouds earlier as you go further east, as I have been looking at the Doppler radar. So, there you go. Other than that, it is mostly clear for the evening. So, with that being said, I think we'll probably call it for this evening. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and pause the video, so I'll be back. Alright folks, so just walking up to the track. Just want to show you the sunset. Well, it's not really sunset yet, but it's about to be very soon. You can see more views of those clouds right there. So yeah, again, as a result of tropical moisture from Hurricane Priscilla. So yeah, but it's mostly affecting the eastern part of LA County. It's also affecting coastal waters and southern LA County. So yeah, so this is what's going to be when Art Night finally comes in less than 24 hours. So there you go. So that I'm going to go pause the video now, so I'll be back. Alright guys, so here is another view, but now this is literally after sunset. So the sun has already gone down, so it's gonna get dark very soon, which I think this is gonna make a stopping point for the movie event. So there you go. So yeah, it's already it's already past sunset at this point. So there you go. So with that being said, that's gonna be it for what we got. So I think this is gonna be the stopping point for Get Ready for Art Night. So with that being said, it is time for me to go ahead and wrap it up for the movie event. So I'll pause the video now. And it is a beautiful Thursday night here. So with that being said, I'm gonna pause the video now, so I'll be back. Alright folks, so with that being said, it is now time for me to end off the movie event. So with that being said, it's time for me to wrap up day 4 of Get Ready for Art Night with the initial practice walk to Red End Press. So with that being said, that's going to be a wrap for Get Ready for Art Night, since tomorrow is the big Art Night kickoff. So with that being said, it is time for me to actually end off the movie event. So, and I need proper lighting, so there you go. So with that being said, that's going to be a wrap for day 4 of Get Ready for Art Night. And to finish off the movie event, that's going to be a wrap for this one. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button and also follow me on X at RubenAparicio17. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Ruben the Transit Fan. Or if you want to see transit content, you can also follow me on Ruben's Transit Hub. So with that being said, that's going to be a wrap for Get Ready for Art Night now. So with that being said, hope you really enjoyed this movie event to literally call it a night. So with that being said, I'll see you next time.